ESL Pro League action is live, and we're on Queued Up where the lobby is open, the mics are hot, and nobody is dodging. With me today, Davis, Nick, and Cooler Nick. We've got Ashes on the show with you today, and I'm CJ Collins, your host. Welcome to Queued Up. We are talking Counter-Strike, the greatest esport that ever lived.
Whoa, you've got two guys on the desk that will greatly disagree with that.
Maybe.
One of.
It's up there.
It's up there.
So before the show, I asked everybody, I said, hey, what is your spirit animal and team associated with said spirit animal that describes this event? Davis, give us your spirit animal.
So the team that I went with was Inner Circle.
Yeah.
And I think it could have gone for actually a couple teams. But it's the Honey Badger. It is the Honey Badger. They're small, but they are fierce. And they do not care. They will take you out. And they'll try with all their might. And so I thought it was really good for Inner Circle. They really surprised everybody here.
They did. I don't even know who's on that roster. It's in the notes, but I don't know.
Because you're not in the inner circle.
That's apparently not.
Well, it is the former TNL roster, right?
It is.
Okay.
It's TNL rebranded.
Current rebrand.
That's right. The Ukrainians are back.
Yeah.
All
right.
Go ahead.
G2.
Yep. Oh,
Ooh. This could set up a lot of fun.
that's a goat.
A fainting goat.
That's a
They're
dead
cute,
goat.
but at the slightest sign of pressure, they're going to collapse. And fainting goat for G2.
I like that one.
I like because it fits. It's like perfect.
It so fits. I'm so glad.
I love how oddly specific that is, too. Like, not any goat.
No.
Like, I thought you were setting them up to be something like, oh, yeah, they're the goat. No, fainting goat. They're going to collapse.
Just when you think they're really good, they fall over.
That describes that team.
It does.
I mean, they won this morning, so they are going to make it to the next stage 2, but then they'll lose to the Falcons, right, Davis?
They will, 100%.
Oh, boy.
Ashes, what's yours, man?
So I was thinking a lot about legacy in Counter-Strike, teams that have been around for a while, teams that we're all familiar with. And the first name that comes to mind is Astralis. Okay. So I gave them the spirit animal of the elephant because they are old, they are wise, they can be mighty. But let's be honest, elephants aren't really that threatening. Like, they could be a threat. They're large and in charge sometimes, but not always. They're kind of just cute little elephants sometimes. So that's what I'm giving them as their spirit animal. They could be there, they could be strong, but realistically, like, what are we doing here, Astralis? What are we doing here?
Yeah, what's interesting about that is at one point they were kind of the lions, right? So they were the king of the jungle and they beat everybody and they had their time. And now they've kind of downgraded. And it's just like, that's nice.
Still
That's
the
a
elephant
nice
in the room, though.
I respect that. No, it's like you go to the zoo, you're not there to see the elephant, you're there to see the lions. But it's cool when you see the elephants, right? So, I felt it was fitting.
That's right. Remember when that elephant used to be a lion? No.
What in the Harry Potter are you talking about?
We gotta go to my spirit
Yeah, come on. What do you got?
Okay, for me, I've got M80.
Oh, no.
They are America's last hope, but they didn't make it. And guess what? They're sad. Just like all of America, just like me, they're the sad pandas. Because they didn't make it. They're cute, they're nice. They should do something, but they're just sitting there eating bamboo, having a great day.
That looks like me when I was watching their matches. Just sitting there, just sad.
Them and NRG.
Yep.
I when you were leaning heavy into the America, I thought you were going to go like bald eagle or something on us.
Yeah.
No, that's too majestic. We got to go something a little clumsier.
Yeah. After their performance, we can't put the bald eagle down.
Sloth, maybe.
Honestly, I'm waiting for the day where I can use the bald eagle so that we can be like, hey, America is fierce. Because that was actually my first thought. I was like, hey, America is fierce. We got to get them in there. No, they're the sad pandas.
But then you were like, we're talking Counter-Strike, so we're not that fierce. So.
That's right. Well, speaking of fierce teams,
Yeah.
2 teams that you haven't heard of, nobody's heard of them, HOTU and Inner Circle. They made it. They went 3-0 through the Swiss stage. It was amazing to watch because they beat some teams that were pretty good, like the Furia, like a G2. It's pretty crazy to watch this bracket kind of unfold here. But any initial thoughts from the group on how this one unfolded and why and what you were most surprised about?
It's just absolute madness. It's in a 16-team stage 1. It's the 2 of the bottom 4 teams are the ones that go 3-0. Like, I think before the tournament started, they were VRS ranked like 48 and 64, and they're beating teams in the top 10, and it's insane to me. But it makes for a good Counter-Strike, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, it was the the fact that it looks like the 2-1 team should be the 1-2 teams. Like those matches are like completely inverse with one another, where it just kind of throws you for a brain loop as we've been walking and talking and watching all the Counter-Strike that's happened over the past year. And it's like, I would never have expected this. And we had a prediction show last week where all of us were like, yo, who are these teams? I'm not picking them over G2, Furia, or any of those. Like,
yeah, I forgot about that actually. But if we would have put our pick'ems up from last week compared to actually now how it's unfolded, I bet it's actually terrible.
Yes,
it's literally
those
terrible.
8 teams that you predicted to make the playoffs, I bet there's probably
There's like 3. Yeah, there's like 3 that are right.
But how can you predict underdogs like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
they were not on anybody's radar, I'm sure, other than maybe their own radars. And then here they come upsetting Furia. I mean, at least I would call that an upset, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So it's fair not to be able to predict them making this 3-0 run that they did.
Yeah, this actually goes to something that Davis said last time that I was on the show. It's just like, if Caserado shows up, Furia wins, but not this time. I think if we go to some of the individual stats, it's like Fallen just wasn't there. Fallen kind of fell off. Like he rode that high of that previous event win, and it was Fissure Playground. Yeah, and they just haven't been able to do anything since.
Another thing for me is like Maladoy, his op just wasn't the same either. Like whenever he gets hot too, like him and Caserado, if they're hitting, this team's a serious threat. But like Maladoy could never really find his fire this event. And it's like they still made their way along. They're playing right now against B8 to see if they can advance. But if he's playing really good, if he's opping really well, they're a whole different team than they were in this series.
Well, they won literally last week.
It was Fissure
Like 4 days ago, they were the grand champions. They won $1 million. And it's like, and they show up, and I just don't understand how it happens so quickly where you just get the rug pulled out from under you and you just don't show up. And we don't know who this team is. And it was a 2-0, and it wasn't a close 2-0. It wasn't like they were battling for it. They got smoked.
Yeah. I think one of the exciting things right now about esports in general, if you look at any game, is we're at an era of esports where there aren't those just dominant teams. I mean, obviously, Counter-Strike has one team that has kind of dominated, right? But every esport, like anybody could win on any given day, which makes being an esports fan so exciting, and also can let these kind of upsets surprise all of us and throw predictions out the window because you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It shows that those amateur level players, they're really starting to rise through the ranks, and we need that. Counter-Strike does it the best, in my opinion, how they have the play-in stages of tournaments. You have these tier 2, tier 3 teams that are able to make it up to the top if you can play that well. And it shows this event right here that they're capable of pulling off the wins in the right moment.
Yeah, and both of these are Russian teams, really, in nature, right? One of them is Ukrainian, one is Russian. It's right next to it, right? But
not for long.
Okay, geopolitics aside, same region.
Yeah.
But what that says about the esports in that region too is I don't know if there's a league that they all kind of qualify through that's the same or what it looks like, but it's definitely one of those things where seeing Russian teams kind of pop up that can compete in the same region as Spirit is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. But we do want to go back to Inner Circle as the other team that finished 3-0. The recent rebrand that we were already talking about from TNL. Some names on there that we're a little bit more familiar with, but still not a team that I don't think anybody had on the radar going 3-0 in this Swiss stage. No question about it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you like this 3D Max team.
I do.
You're always harping on 3D Max, right? And they are an explosive team, and I've said that many a times before, but it is interesting that this is the first one that they're able to take down, and they did it convincingly. I mean, look at those stats.
Yeah, my thing is like the difference in my opinion versus Inner Circle and HOTU is like HOTU had a few matches where a couple guys really, really popped off. This Inner Circle team, it's the whole team that was popping off. They're playing really good together. They can match up against good teams, and they impressed me a lot. I think they'll be pretty good force.
You think they'll win the whole thing, David?
They might just win the whole thing. No, but I think they did really good for the standards that I had for them coming into the event. They really, really surprised me.
Yeah. They played 3D Max first, and then they went on to play Gamer Legion, and then they ended with the Gentlemates. And that's an interesting mini story within this. So with that, obviously, Gentlemates did lose that, but they won another match, and that was enough points for them to be able to go to stage 2, which is going to get them into the major. So the Gentlemates are going to make it into the major after this. So just for an admin note for everybody watching, is like that match was very, very important. Not that match, but the one after it for the Gentlemates. So
yeah.
And in my opinion, too, beating the Gentlemates, like normally they're a team that's like right around the same level, but Gentlemates had just beat G2. So it's like they had 3 really good wins in a row, 3D Max, Gamer Legion, and then a team that just beat G2. So I think that shows how strong Inner Circle has been throughout this whole 3-0 stage.
Yeah. It, like, again, when you were going through both HOTU and Inner Circle's matches to go 3-0, after you get past that first match where it was 3D Max and Furia that they both beat, you're like, oh, well, they just beat Gamer Legion and Ents and Mate and Bait. And it's like, well, no, those were the 1-0 matchups and the 2-0 matchups. Like, they both also created some upsets on their side of the bracket as well. And it's just like, what? I don't know if we're living in the upside down. I've never seen Stranger Things, but I know it's a reference.
This is an absolute domination. Sorry, I just wanted to reference these stats that I saw on the TV. Look, plus 23, plus 17, plus 18 for 3 different guys on Inner Circle. They're just completely frying Gamer Legion.
And the worst player was only -1. Like, that's not bad at all, right?
Yeah,
especially when the stakes are so high. It's really impressive, honestly. And I'm wondering if there's almost a little bit of a factor of maybe some of these teams took them a little bit lightly. Like, who is this Inner Circle? Like, yeah, it's a rebrand or whatever, but, you know, really, like, we should beat these guys. Let's worry about our next match. Let's worry about, you know, the team that we're expecting to play that we have to beat. And you take them a little bit too lightly. And like I said earlier, anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
Yeah, I've never played, and that's actually a really good point. I've never played in a Swiss tournament or anything like that, but it's like, you got to think, you're like, oh, as long as I don't lose 3, right? So you may not wake up to every single match exactly the same, especially when you're playing the 70th ranked team in the world.
I can vouch it's miserable, by the way. It's not fun. It's a lot of pressure. You think you have some padding, you really don't. It's miserable.
Yeah, the other 2 teams in here, G2 and Furia, and I talked a little bit about Furia. I mean, G2 were our London, what was that,
Blast London.
This Blast London event. They had won that 2 weeks ago. Both those teams moved up a lot on the VRS rankings. They're like number 3 and number 5 now, which is pretty wild to watch a number 3, number 5 team in the world really struggle through this Swiss stage.
I mean, 100%. I mean, this is like your event too. Like ESL Pro League, it's one of the staple events throughout the whole entire year. So I know we have a lot of talk with, none of us actually say it, but the other people that are normally on the desk, they love talking about Mickey Mouse events and events that people don't try in. And it's like, this is your event to try in. It's the ESL. You're qualifying from stage 1 to stage 2 so you can play against the best of the best teams before the major. This is when you want to be at your best and preparing for that major, and they just have completely dropped the ball.
Agreed. I don't know. The G2 roster for me should perform. I still have them high on my rankings. I think they should do well as long as Heavy God is performing. But I think that was really the difference in the last matches, was essentially Heavy God not being at the same spot he was when we saw him at the last.
Yeah, at London, they looked great and unstoppable, and rightfully so, won that event. And then Fisher Playground 2, they kind of fell out as well. And they're having relatively the same struggles here. So I'm not sure what it looks like for them going forward, but I do have faith in that core team. But right now, and again, just like Furia, not performing so hot.
Maybe we're putting too much weight on Heavy God's shoulders.
Whoa.
Sorry, I had to get my pun in. I had to get my one in. I'm done. Sorry.
I agree, though. I think Sun Pius, he's the player for me that I look at, like in the Blast London, his AWP, same thing as we were talking about with Maladoy. The AWP is so powerful. If your AWP's hitting shots, that's such a threat to the other team. And when Sun Pius hasn't been hitting AWP shots, they haven't been nearly as a threat either.
Yeah, he was getting barked at by Ents this morning, and he just literally next round got a 4K. I was like, sit down.
But here was a series versus B8. The other thing, we're recording this in the morning, and so we haven't actually seen the Furia versus B8 match that's happening. So we don't know if Furia is even going to qualify to stage 2. And B8 has played people close this event.
Yeah, 100%. Their team. I'm pretty sure you're the person that picked them to advance. Last week too.
The last major I had them going a little bit further, and so I've liked this team. They have shown up in big moments. They just lack the consistency. So it's like, can they actually pull through? And I really don't think a B8 shows up in stage 2 and can take down a Falcons, a Vitality, and Mouse.
No, I've actually got a golf reference to see if Davis will agree with me on this. So Davis, you know about the after birdie mess up is a nice way to put it.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you think this is like the after birdie mess up where it's like you're riding that high, you just won the previous tournament, and you come in and you're like, oh, I can do this, and shank the ball off into the woods?
It could be, and we've seen it so consistently, so it's got to be something like that. It's like, yo, we're doing everything right, we're winning, we should take over, and then you come in and kind of like you were saying, you might undermine a few of these teams that you think you should just roll over, and they're ready to prepare. You know, they've waited their whole week to play you. They know you're a great team that plays in Tier 1 events. They want to upset you so they can get the VRS points to possibly make it to the major. And so they're really prepared, and you're overlooking them. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and this is also a studio event, right? And we've talked about some teams don't do great in studios, some don't do great on the main stage. It just depends. And when you don't have the crowd on your side, which G2 does, if you've ever been to an event before, G2 is going to have the crowd. Furia has all of Brazil on their side, right? And so they're coming from these two events, and they go to a little bit quieter where they don't have as much momentum on the back end of it. Changes it.
That was kind of like, oh, why am I blanking? Who does Dumal play for? Legacy? Dude, when that crowd's behind that guy, popping off. But closed studio, they didn't do. I'm pretty sure they're already eliminated. They got eliminated.
They're playing right now.
Oh, they're
with Astralis right now.
That's
Legacy Astralis.
Yeah. What's the score?
Yeah.
Active score.
We hate doing this, but we have to. We have to check. We have to check as we queue up the feed.
So,
That's right.
Legacy won 13-7
Oh,
on
wow.
Inferno,
Okay.
which that was their pick, to be fair. So
Yeah.
now they're going to Astralis' pick, Overpass.
We'll see.
Oh,
Haven't
no.
started yet,
Dude,
but
Overpass
Not overpass to decide if you're still playing or
Overpass
not.
has been kind of like ancient. It's like always a blowout too. Like you just start rolling on either of the sides, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it CT and I've seen it T as well. So that's a coin flip at this point. That's not
Well,
good.
forget
for
everything I
Astralis.
just
And
said
it's not
about
looking
Dumal,
good,
then.
too. It's not looking good, too. 13-7 for Astralis. That's not a good first
No.
game, even if it wasn't your map pick.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't. The old elephant, you know what I'm saying?
The elephant, they're flowing up, man.
adorable, but those tusks weren't ready, man. It's not there.
Well, I want to talk about something exciting. And so I need to ask Ashes about his feed because I need to discuss this topic.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm sure everybody has seen in their feed very recently, they're just a couple days ago, was the fact that Rain has been moved to the bench on the FaZe roster. He put out a very nice, heartfelt message thanking all of his teammates, past and present. And this is surprising to me. Rain is obviously one of those names in Counter-Strike that if you've watched at any point in the last decade, you've seen his name come up at some point during an important tournament, making some sort of incredible play. Seeing him step down from this, well, maybe forcibly get stepped down from this FaZe roster, that's a surprising decision because, you know, what he might not be as consistent with as some of these young guys in terms of just fragging out, it's going to be rough in terms of they don't have that IGL that he brings to the table anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, blew my mind. In my opinion, I don't know if it was forced or if he actually wanted to step away himself because, again, we remember a couple months ago, he put out that video saying, like, hey, I'm here, I'm going to stay, you know, I want to be with my wife and kids, but I'm going to stick it out, FaZe, ride or die, right? Another crazy stat that I saw, he joined FaZe when Donk was 9. What?
Mhm.
The greatest player in the game right now. Rain's been on FaZe since he was 9. Is just crazy to me. I know we're going to look at stage 2 in a little bit here in FaZe, but this move hurts them so much, it's not even funny.
And to kind of draw a connection between things that both of y'all said, like Ashes was saying, this guy, he was the whole reason the international Counter-Strike team started. FaZe brought him in to be a glue man to start international teams back in an era, I guess, where it was really national teams. You had teams from Russia that were all Russian teams playing, teams from Ukraine, all Ukrainian teams that were playing, and FaZe was the first like real international team that was brought together. He's a glue man, and for me, he's been performing, and he hasn't been performing at his highest level, but he pops off in certain matches just as much as really anybody on this roster. So I think he's one of the guys that you can always look at as being consistent, being bought into the team, being bought into their goals and their narrative that they're trying to create. And so losing him, you don't know what you're going to get from a new guy that comes in.
There's 3 main points I want to make on this one. I think it's interesting. One, Overdrive called this first, right?
Mhm.
That was a tweet. It was 2 weeks ago. He knew. He put it out there. He was right? And we actually have talked on this desk the last 2 weeks about how I think that is the worst person on this roster to go.
No
right?
question.
And I don't think they get an upgrade from Twiz. I don't see it. And as much as I have defended Kerrigan on this show, one of the things that Kerrigan has not done is put up a positive stat in a long time, right? And there's something going on behind the scenes with this. There's got to be a conversation because it's not like the players don't hear the community. Every single time you look at a tweet that's got Kerrigan on it, everyone's calling for his head, right? And so the owners know this. This is not a secret. So they're going against the grain because they believe in something, whether it's Jacob on that roster is going to be a star, which I don't think so, right? I think Frozen is the best player by far on that team, and I'm surprised he's going along with this because he's going to get thrown into whatever chaos they put him through. And then the third point I'm going to make is Rain on his tweet is like, I want to go somewhere else. I want to be an IGL for another team. So it's like, what in the world is all of that? And what do we not know about this conversation that really changes the game?
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily stop the Kerrigan hate train, but I definitely don't want to add to it either. It's like every player that has recently left that team, when you have Simple, Elige, and Rain, and others on the outside. Yes, Kerrigan on the stats isn't the problem, but nobody ever says anything bad about him. The players, the only people that are talking bad about him are the community and people like us that are sitting on the desk that, to be frank, opinions don't matter. If the players on the team are like, Kerrigan's our guy, ride or die with him, and that's obviously the direction they're going, and that's probably what owners are listening to. They're not listening to us. They're listening to the players.
I think one of I mean, again, his tweet said that he wants to keep competing, like you said. And so I think there's often a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that, as spectators, we don't understand. We don't know, what argument happened during a practice. We don't know if there's a clashing of personalities. But I think their team had the right makeup. They have talent. They have had a really good IGL.
Yeah.
They have a hype man in Kerrigan. Even if he can't drop numbers, he's going to get the crowd on their side or, just excited and energized. And that's going to feed the other players. So I think they had a formula of success. I'm just shocked that this is the route they chose to make a change.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's really interesting too is I know we talk a lot about Spirit and how they at the Shanghai Major performed really well and they've kind of fallen off since then and they're trying to get back to their heights. But I mean, this was the team that played them in the grand finals. FaZe played Spirit in the grand finals in Shanghai with their old roster with Elige and everything, and they were at the top of the top. And this year it has been absolutely just disgraceful, honestly, for how FaZe had been playing in previous years to have the results that they've had this year. And that shows me, in my opinion, that it's an IGL problem. And I'm not trying to put any blame on anybody, but something's got to change at the core of this team.
Yeah.
Like you said, they have the talent. They've been in grand finals. They've been in the biggest moments. And this year, they've just completely fallen flat. And so something has had to happen behind the scenes to really mess the vibes up of this team.
Yeah. And, I mean, Kerrigan, right? It's like you're saying the Kerrigan thing. It's like that would make more sense to me, actually. If you did that, I'd be like, I understand this. This one is, I don't know. I'm just lost with it. So
yeah.
Let us know what you think down below in the comments. What do you think? Okay? Is it really his time to go? I don't know. Davis, what's your feed?
So going over, we're talking about Elige, another ex-FaZe player at this point, but he's saying how bad the CS2 servers are online. And I have to agree with him. I mean, we're playing on 64-tick servers. This is Counter-Strike. I mean, earlier we mentioned it's one of the best esports in the game. It's one of the Counter-Strike's been around for so long. We have to have the best servers. And they've been talking about putting 128-tick in the game for a little bit, but it just never came. There actually was an update yesterday that everybody in the public thought was going to have it. It didn't. So everybody's upset. Yeah, it did not. Everybody's upset. And I don't know. It's just even though these are online servers, it needs to be to the best quality that can be. Yeah. I mean, we're making so much money from cases. Valve has so much money. It needs to be the best of the best.
I know CJ's going to hate me for even mentioning this.
I just hate you in general.
Valorant, day one, been out for 5 years, had 128-tick servers.
Yep.
They exist. Pay them, use them, something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation is, but it's especially since we just went to CS2,
Exactly.
aka like an Overwatch 2, where it's just the same game. But
that was going to be my point. Is some people say CS:GO has been out so long, that's why they have 64-tick servers. We just got CS2. Why don't we have 128 now?
Please.
Yeah.
This is a network problem. We have to lay some cables in order to do this. It's very expensive. You guys understand?
The infrastructure already exists. That's what I just said.
I get it. And you can play on a private server, by the way. Faceit has a private server where you're playing on a 128 tick. So it's this is for Premier, right?
Yeah. And that's my thing is I've been playing Faceit too, and it's insanely different how the shots register on Faceit versus regular Premier. And that's crazy to me.
He's also not the only pro that's complained about this recently, so I don't understand this push. They don't even, most of them do not grind Premier. They grind ESEA or Faceit or normally Faceit. So it's interesting that this is kind of a thing. It seems kind of clickbaity, if I'm honest. So I don't know.
He was just doing some media for his new team, and that was the quote that everybody wanted to pull from it.
There's too much going on in Maine right now. I'm Elige. Okay, I need to be here.
Hey, me.
I don't know. Let's go to the next one.
It's you, sir.
It is me.
What do you got?
And I'm so excited to talk to you about VRS Rankings. Okay, there is an event going on right now in the great location, the city of Philadelphia. It's called October.
Oh, this is
Philadelphia
Fragadelphia.
October. Yeah, so that's what it is. So this is a tweet by a young man who is upset about Liquid. They secured their spot for the major.
Yep.
And so they pulled out of this event, right? This tournament is a $10,000 tournament, right? So And I think Liquid also put themselves in a spot where if they needed extra VRS points, they were going to attend it. They ended up not needing the points. So, hey, we're backing out now. And then it creates a little bit of chaos for the TO, right? They have to find a new team, especially a big name where they were going to do media around them and all these different pieces. And so being able to pull out of this event was a big deal. Now, there's a lot of drama right now on the internet on HLTV rankings and what it looks like and where should all the teams be and is it accurate and how is it calculated. And so it's interesting that this conversation is coming up because I'm not really sure what the truth is if I bring it up here today. I think there's something going on, but I don't love that Liquid is able to pull out of this event, if I'm honest. And I don't really love that the TO kind of gets screwed at the same time, right? Like, what's the substitute for this look like? So I wanted to bring it up as a conversation to figure out, what do you guys think about this? Is it fair? Is it not fair?
I want to ask you, do you think teams that are registered for a tournament, and maybe you guys out there can let us know in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Do you think teams that are registered for a tournament like this need to stay committed to the tournament? Is that like a mandatory thing? There should be a penalty if they, for some reason, can't?
I think so, personally. I think it's kind of messed up. I mean, they scheduled this event thinking they might need the points. And so if you think you might need the points and you've signed up, you're committed to go to that thing. You shouldn't be able to just back out, in my opinion, and just leave the tournament out to dry. Especially because, like you were saying, it's Liquid. It's a huge – Philadelphia, like, they host events a pretty good bit, but they're not by any means a Fissure or like a PGL or something like that. They need that media coverage. They need to be lifted up by a team like Liquid, and they're just backing out.
Yeah, for a U.S. event where it's like I probably bought tickets to go to that event to see Liquid, and then Liquid pulled out. It's like,
yeah,
I might be trying to hit that refund button real quick.
And I understand the other side of this conversation because if I'm a business guy, if I'm an old head, and I look at it from flights to hotels to if I win that prize pool to the split to the players, all that stuff, not valuable, not going to make me money, not a good decision financially for us. And so I understand that side, and certainly that's how this conversation flowed. They said, hey, we're not going to go play in that thing. We don't need to anymore. And so I understand how it happened, but it is interesting that it does hurt the TO. And that's why this person went on the internet and they're upset about it because it's like, yo, we had all this stuff planned. So I do think that it's fair for some kind of penalty to exist, but I don't know what it is and if it can be big enough to actually make them still come. Because that's what you want, right?
Yeah, and I think the root of the problem is, I mean, honestly, the VRS system as a whole. I think this whole point system is so easily manipulated by so many teams. They can do the calculations and go, okay, do I need to go to this event and attend, earn these points, or can we save our players the travel stress and the exhaustion that comes with going all the way over here when we have another event coming up in X amount of days or X amount of weeks? So I think there's a fundamental flaw here that needs to be adjusted and fixed in order to like prevent things like this from happening.
For me, it just seems like the VRS is like, how many events do you play? If you're playing in the events, if you perform halfway well, you're going to be rising through the ranks. It doesn't really matter if you're like the best team in the world. You're going to be, if you play more events, you have the chance to be top 10 teams. It's not like, oh, I'm actually a top 10 team. I've just played the most events recently and performed halfway decent.
Yeah,
and that's not right, in my opinion.
I agree. And they talked about this a little bit on the HLTV podcast where there's countries that are running tournaments for their region, so Europe, Asia, North America, and you can get VRS points from that event, right? And so what stops me from running a tournament that's big enough to get VRS points for a North American team and then being able to buy back those points in some ways? So like, I'm just going to give these points to these teams so I can get my team to North America, and then I get a split of their prize pool at the major or something like that. And there's nothing really that's like governing that. And so that's part of the issue with this is like, individual countries trying to support their teams, which I don't hate that, right?
Yeah.
I just hate the manipulation of it.
Yeah.
So interesting points here. But Nick, what you got for us, man?
I got simple. It wouldn't be an into the smoke / queued up.
No, simple.
No, simple. There's rumors going around, and they're pretty strong rumors that he is the current highest paid CS player for BC Gaming, making $130,000 a month. Absolutely insane, especially on BC Gaming, who's playing in Tier 3, Tier 2 tournaments right now. Absolutely absurd. But before you all hate, I have a few things to say. First off, happy birthday. The GOAT is turning 28 years old today, and just a few stats just to throw it out. He was 3 times voted the best player in the world. He won the MVP 7 years straight. Major winner, accolades to boot, graffiti on the wall. The guy's got it all. He's only 28 years old. I want to see him back up top, but $130,000. Wow.
pretty good gig right there. Especially for a tier 2, tier 3 team. It's actually insane. But it's that gambling money. They have the backing. They have the money.
Yeah.
Maybe they can cut his salary and get some other players on the team. Maybe they'll rise up to the top. Like, if they got that money, let's bring some other players in. Let's rise up.
Hey, there's a few that we already saw that are still out there.
It's interesting because he's not been public about
Rain
that, by
needs
the
a
way.
team.
Oh, Rain needs a team. There you go.
Dexter still exists.
You haven't seen the simple complaints of like, yo, it's my teammates. Like, the dude kind of wants to solo carry it in some ways. Like,
Well, he's paid too much to complain.
I know.
If I'm making $130,000 a month, I'm not complaining about anything.
Yeah.
And I'm
Life's
playing
great.
against guys I can drop like 40 every series. What's there to complain about?
Oh, darn, guys, we got 13-0'd. I guess we'll get them next time. Paycheck.
100%.
But I do think, like, and I'm this might be a little bit of a rant. I think this is a glaring issue that we see in esports where orgs that have money flex the money for the top players. And I get it, right? You want to buy the talent. You want to get those top players. You want to get those trophies. But there needs to be some sense of responsibility because when players' salaries get inflated that much, unfortunately, players will go, okay, well, I just gunned down Simple 6 rounds in a row. I deserve $140,000 a month. And that's just not how it works in business, in esports, in life. And I think these overinflated salaries, don't get me wrong, Simple is the GOAT. I respect Simple's accolades. He is the best. But $130,000 a month, I don't care how much money you have, no player in CS, in my opinion, is worth that much money.
Yeah.
Not that much.
I would agree.
Hey, we're talking about the GOAT, guys. Come on.
Playing Counter-Strike. Come on now.
We don't know the public value of the Falcons roster, too, which would be the other side of this conversation of like how much those players are paid. We know that this actually was recent news that Kyosuke's buyout from Team Spirit was $2 million.
Yep. Spirit confirmed, yeah.
Yeah, so they confirmed that. I mean, that's just the transfer, not the salary. So it's like,
And the craziest thing for me is he had never played a tier 1 event when that happened.
Totally,
And like
yeah.
they had just paid $2 million for Monacy's transfer too. And it's like, how does this make sense? How does this correlate? You know?
yeah. Well, and they have to be paid pretty well. And we're also seeing, I mean, the Falcons across the board are paying Pokes a lot of money. Celium's contract is another one in Call of Duty that we've seen is supposed to be pretty enormous. But I think you're right in the fact that it's really easy as a player to be like, get in the bag, whatever you need, boss, I'm there. You know, have a great day. Because that's what money does. You know, it's tough. It's a very tough position, especially for young people that don't have training in that environment too. So it's challenging.
It almost adds a little bit of complacency to the player where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I don't have to win to make my name. I don't have to win in order to get this money. I've already done it. So now I'm just grabbing the bag. I'm going to do my best. Maybe.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll see what happens.
And then to go back to your other point, when they become complacent, they're not nearly as good. And then you have that problem that you mentioned. Like we have these other players that are fighting for everything. They have the hunger and they're beating them. So now they're like, okay, well, I'm worth that money or more.
Yeah.
It's just a domino effect.
Endless cycle,
Yep.
unfortunately.
It is. Well, let's go to our next segment. We're going to go back a little bit to the ESL event. I want to talk to you guys about really the biggest surprises from this one. I mean, obviously, we talked a little bit about Inner Circle and what the HOTU roster's doing, and then G2 and Furia. But anything outside of those teams and players that just kind of surprising for you? And I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and ultimately, the big one for me was M80. M80 had been hot. They were supposed to be able to at least give themselves a shot, even to try and make the major at some point if they could get enough points for it. But just didn't happen. It was super disappointing for me. And I think it comes back to potentially a cut your kick later, so I won't steal it from him. But ultimately, you know, NA and the disappointment on that side. So
For me, it's Astralis. And I mean, we can actually do another score update here in a second. No, we don't have,
hey,
While you're
look it
going,
up while
while
I'm
you're
going.
going.
Yeah. But for me, I mean, Astralis is a team that they should have made it out of this with no problem. And I mean,
Yeah.
they're playing in a match right now. They're 2-2, maybe qualify, maybe they don't. We'll see. After the first match, it wasn't looking good. So if they drop out, huge surprise for me.
They're up 3-0 on Overpass, but Hoopsy only has 2 HP right now. So
hey,
Might lose this round.
That's a super live update.
clip it.
No, I was gonna ask you why not NRG, because I'm pretty sure when we did the pick'ems last week, you had them as one of the 8 to advance. They did not only advance; they went 0-3.
I did.
They got smoked. Who did they get smoked? Who what was their
It
path?
was Gamer Legion,
Okay,
Legacy, and Flux.
not Flux.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad one right there.
That is a bad.
The
That
other
one
two,
hurts.
the other two were like, honestly, those teams probably should have beat NRG, but Fluxo, like, they can beat NRG can beat them.
And it's crazy because Nitro's still very good at the game, and
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they we're watching HLTV right before coming in here, and they had him on America's team. So it's like, losing to Fluxo.
Well, they also got 2-0'd by Fluxo. I mean, it was 13-8 on the first map, Nuke. It was 13-11 on Train, which is a little bit closer. But, like, on paper, this is an NRG Series 2 win.
Yeah.
And they get 2-0'd.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this logo. I was looking at this logo in the bracket, the FX logo, and I'm like, who? Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I mean, here they are. They're not 0-3.
I think my biggest surprise, though, is actually Heroic. Another team that would have been in my top 4 to advance out of this stage and fell flat again. They've had great success this entire year, and to fall flat here was...
And this was actually a huge detriment for them because they lost their major spot because of it. They will not be going, which is, I mean, we've seen Heroic do well for a mid-tier organization. I mean, I normally put them 24-16 any day of the week, and they can take down some big spots.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wild on that side as well.
And they've made a lot of money recently. It's kind of weird to see them falling a little bit flat because they sold players like Dexter, Tess kicks in, and then they sold Tenier to Spirit recently. So they've had a bunch of players that have had some really big buyouts to go other places. And so you got to think you have to use this money smartly, invest smartly, and they should be making it out of this.
I didn't even think of that. I don't remember who replaced Tenier, but it was their first event with.
It was.
Without him.
They have a new roster. So.
But still, I mean, I think they should honestly still make it out.
Yeah, for sure. That was my biggest surprise.
Well, and it's also this Heroic historically has done this. Every 6 months, they kind of find a player, and then they do. That's their business model. Mm-hmm. They sell players. That's, hey, we're going to build them up, and we're going to sell them to the big org. So it's a great spot for a player to be in because you might get a shot, and it's a great spot for the org to be in because they can afford it. Right?
Yeah.
And that's helpful.
Especially when players are getting paid $130,000 a month.
Simple's just going to buy the roster.
He's saving his money.
He's really good.
Let's go to our next segment. Let's go to Clutch or Kick. What do you guys say?
Down.
You don't want to talk about Bucharest and Aurora?
Oh, I'm sorry. We do need to do that. Thank you so much.
Real quick. We wouldn't want to miss it.
We would not want to miss that, Nick. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So I wanted to talk about this event very shortly because I was looking at it, and I want to look at the teams really quickly. And I want to get the initial thoughts from the teams on this one from you guys on, is there one that stands out to you or not?
See, I'm going to say no because I know this guy's saying Aurora should disband if they don't win this event, but Aurora's not that great.
Whoa!
We've talked about it before. I've talked about it especially. If Xantaris doesn't pop off, this is like a mid-tier team. He carries this team so hard. And so for me, it's like, they probably, if you're looking at this, they're definitely the best team on their best day. But to say that they should disband if they don't win the event, I mean, there's some other decent teams here. There's teams that are on decent form. You got Gamer Legions playing pretty decent. Astralis hasn't looked great. 3D Max, we said they're capable of pulling some upsets. So I don't want to count anybody out. I think there's going to be some crazy stuff happening.
I think this is a much tighter event than ESL Pro League Stage 1 that we just saw. Yeah. And the amount of upsets that were in that would not surprise me. Yes, Aurora should be the clear favorite there. They're one of the few teams that have a Tier 1 tournament win in 2025 under Eternal Fire. There should be no question that they win that event. However, if they disband because of the current state of Counter-Strike right now, it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I think Aurora, like, while they are the favorites going into that event, I don't think it's as free as whoever that person on Twitter was making it sound. Like, I'm looking at the stuff for ESL. Gamers Legion is looking good. I mean, they're winning convincing matches. They're not losing to teams that they should lose to. And then you've also got Team Liquid now, who I think is reunited with Elige, right? Yep. And so there's going to be a little bit of a honeymoon phase, which we've seen how that can turn out in almost every single esport. I don't think it's going to be free for Aurora. I think they're going to have to work for it.
100%.
That was my comment, was Liquid is on there with Elige. And that is a really big opportunity because I think that we don't have the big five in there, right? No Mouse, no Vitality, no Spirit, no Mongols. So it's like, yo, that is an event for the taking as you're going into a big season. And Liquid could use that for some momentum. So could Aurora. Don't get me wrong. Aurora and Mouse are kind of our forgotten teams, though. It's like they're there, but
kind of not there.
Kind of not take them, right? But it is interesting that that event has the amount of, it's a big prize pool. It's right before the major, so clearly the big teams are taking a break, not jumping into it. Yeah. But Aurora and Liquid are definitely on there as teams to look out for sure. That should be the favorites, but anybody can take that.
Yeah, no question about it. And that was the event that got pushed up against IEM Chengdu and had some internal struggle between Blast and PGL. So glad to see they finally got some teams that are committed to going to that event still with a short turnaround. But that should be a great event. I would rather watch that event over this stage 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, this stage 1 has been, it's a bunch of no-name teams.
And
for us, right? Like,
well, yeah,
not in a bad way, but it's like, yeah.
But the no-name teams are winning, and to me, that makes it exciting.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, the Cinderella story is always what we go for.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to our next segment, clutch or kick. So somebody's going to bring up an idea, and we're going to say, do we like this idea and why? Or do we not like this idea and why? And it's pretty open-ended. So sometimes I've been known as like a little bit of the terrorist, that like I just kick stuff to like do it. So feel free. But we're going to let Ashley go first and get us started. So.
Okay. So for clutch or kick, I believe, I'm trying to remember exactly what I had put.
It's on the
thing.
screen.
There you go.
I believe that NA orgs need to do a better job of developing the talent that is organic to North America and not just focusing on importing players to buy trophies.
Anybody want to go?
I'm clutching that as well. And I think this is actually something that goes across multiple esports. We actually just had a conversation about this on the last Queued Up. You should go watch it as well, about League of Legends and how the League of Legends NA scene is also struggling to develop talent, and they are going elsewhere, buying outside players. Korean mainly is who they're buying to try to improve these teams. And it's like, guys, the scene's not going to get any better unless we build it up from the ground. It's the players that are in North America that make our scene good, and we have to make them better in order to make the scene better.
And I think and not to meld some shows here, but I think the path is there in League of Legends to do it with a very good collegiate scene. And we've actually seen some recent players brought up to the LTA. That doesn't exist for CS in North America, unfortunately. I don't know. I guess you could go to every single Fragadelphia and just see who pops off on any given weekend. But other than that, like, I agree. I do clutch the idea. I just don't know how viable it is given the current CS ecosystem. He did say he's the terrorist.
I'm ready to debate you. Let's go.
This is tough, and I want to talk about the why.
Okay.
Right? Because I think I've invested a lot of time in the collegiate space and the high school esports space. I say we as a group definitely have. You know, we've run high school esports for the state of North Carolina, right? And we've gotten to see what that looks like. One of the things that you see in that is League of Legends and Counter-Strike are challenging for two different reasons. League of Legends is because it's role specific, right? There's very, very specific roles. Like, I need a jungler, I need a top laner to play this game. And it's really hard for us to be able to develop those talents because the school system doesn't really help that. And if you don't have the school system, what do you have? Challenger League, whatever. And the same thing exists in Counter-Strike, but Counter-Strike is not adopted as a game that can be played on the high school scene and even the college scene too. You know, it's kind of a banned game because it's got terrorists and counter-terrorists, which is silly, right? But we are fighting against that from a cultural perspective, which is one of the reasons why this happens, which is super disappointing. And I hate that. And I would love for more of these things to happen and NA to be able to go and do this. So I love the idea. It's just the why is really hard to solve for us.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up the cultural perspective too, because my degree's in psychology and I've kind of thought about this a lot. And I think one of the issues is, one, the buy-in that gamers in North America have towards their esports. I think there's just a different level of work ethic. You were talking about League of Legends and how NA teams will import Korean players. The game is a different discipline level over in Korea and China. Yeah. So I think when you have players who have that kind of work ethic towards their game, I mean, when I was in high school, nerds were getting stuffed in lockers. Yeah. So now it's finally becoming cool here, but we don't have that same level of like, hey, this is something that you can really put time into. You can develop your skill set. You can become the best. And then on top of that, I don't think it's yet fully adopted by the older generations in terms of supporting their students, supporting their kids who might want to pursue this path. I think when we're having kids and they're in high school and they're looking, hey, I want to be a pro gamer, I'm challenger in League or I'm top whatever in CS, then I think we'll be more understanding and that'll create that generation. But I still think a lot of the burden falls on North American org owners. I think a lot of org owners will look to see how they can buy the quickest trophy possible because that's marketable, that's sellable, and I understand it, I get it. But also, if you want this ecosystem to thrive, you need to take the chances and risk and develop the talent. And I want to give a shout out, honestly, to the Liquid. This is not a North American player, but they took a chance on Ultimate, and they brought him up from relatively unknown because he was just so crazy good. And now look at him. I would say he's probably the star player on that team.
Yes, definitely.
So you can do it. It doesn't have to be an import. Just find the talent and develop them, nurture them, and you will find success long term.
What?
Super clutch.
That was super clutch. First time in a while.
Davis, what you got?
So I'm going into the Team Falcons.
Oh,
We have a player on the board. It's available. We have Rain. And Rain can save this team.
Oh my God.
We want him to IG. He wants the IGL. He's the king of international rosters. This is the most international roster you can get. He's got the experience. The players love him. Bring him in. He can save them.
I love that somebody put the jersey on him.
Yeah.
Somebody went straight to the Photoshop.
Go ahead and kick me.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a kick, unfortunately. There is so much wrong with this team. I don't think bringing Rain on is going to help them.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with the team?
What do you mean?
They have Monacy, the super young potential GOAT. He hasn't done it yet, but he will. He's there. We've got good old Nico, who's the man. Okay, you can't not love him. Okay, and you've got
Nico No Major, continue.
and he's got Tessis and
Kixon,
which I would Kayusuke and Kixon. There's too many K's here. But I think this is great, Davis. I love this crap. We're clutching it.
Who are you getting rid of? No, who are you getting rid of?
Get Kixon out of here.
Get Kixon out of there. Rain is new IGL.
Yep.
This is the future of the Falcons. Make it happen right now.
Yep.
Okay.
I love that.
So you started off with Falcons, and I was already lifting up one of these signs because I think in terms of what we've seen from the Falcons, knowing how flush with cash they are, it's been honestly disappointing. Also, I have a personal vendetta against their coach because he stole Esports Coach of the Year from me, but that's a whole different story. Anyways, I agree with you.
That. I hate that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, kick that. No, he's goated. He deserved it. But I will say, I think this is clutch. I think that if you give them the right leadership with the talent that they have and give them a cohesive strategy, they will be the force that the talent on their team should be. So, yeah, absolutely.
That was my biggest thing is the leadership that he can bring to this team because I think Kixon, he's been a good IGL at times, but I just don't think he was ready to really wrangle in this whole talent that they have.
Big
they have Monacy,
personalities.
Kyusuke, Nico. They have all these huge names, and Rain, he can match that. He can be that guy that they look up to and is like, this guy's done it for so long. He builds these rosters, and I think it could be something cool.
I agree. I'm with you. I think it's great. Future of the Falcons. And something has to change in this Falcon roster. So much horsepower, so much firepower. They have to make it work in some ways. And I want them to. I think that's a great thing for them. And they need to change for sure. I'm going to go to my clutcher kick, okay? And mine is innocent until proven guilty. I want to talk no cries.
Okay.
No cries. Everyone thought he was a cheater. He's the bane of their existence. He did all these awful things. He goes to the Face It headquarters, and then he puts up the numbers. The guy is frying in the Face It headquarters. No cheats, no hacks. Everyone crucified him and said he was a hacker until this moment happened. I think that's ridiculous. I think when we say people are hackers, it's because we're mad because they're beating us on the internet. We don't really know, right? So you have to know that there's some kind of process of like, how do we prove somebody is a hacker? I think this is a great way to do it. I don't know if it's feasible for the entire economy, but I love that the one-off, this guy gets a shot and he stops getting his name thrown through the mud. That's the clutch.
Okay. I'm going to hold for a second.
Yeah.
I need a simmer.
You would think about it. Think about it. No crisis.
Davis is
I'm going to clutch as well.
Okay.
Because I do think innocent until proven guilty. You can't just say that people are cheating and have like no real evidence. But I will say there was some crazy. This guy's insane. Like this guy's actually insane. There were some crazy clips of him playing that I was sitting there like, yo, this guy might be hacking. Like I don't know. I need to see him play on LAN. And I mean, if he's going to the Face It headquarters and he's playing good for him. And I guess he's innocent now. But he had some crazy clips. I was looking at him like, this guy's, I don't know.
I'll hit it.
Yeah, I figured you would.
This is a kick for me. Sometimes the systems don't work and cheaters fall through the cracks and you get knocked out of tournaments that you should have probably went to and invitationals that you missed out of because certain players played in the league for 3 years and before they got caught and actually banned finally. So
this sounds personal.
Just a little bit.
I feel targeted.
I wasn't looking over there or
I feel
anything,
targeted.
but
look, we had to take a chance, right? So, anyways, I'm debating between my two signs, and I want to hold up both.
Yeah.
but I'm leaning towards kick.
Okay.
And the reason for that is I agree. On the clutch side, I agree. You should be innocent until proven guilty. And unfortunately, in the social media world, you are guilty as soon as any kind of evidence comes out.
Yep.
That being said, I also love the fact that Face It took this chance, brought him out. He wanted to show that he was legit, and I love that. The kick side is this is not feasible, and I think there is a bigger problem here in terms of cheating online in competitions, and I think this should not be an out for any of the developers or any of the tournament organizers in terms of how they need to fix their anti-cheat systems. So I think that overall, I'm going with kick. I think developers and tournament organizers need to do a better job of figuring out how to stop cheaters, not go, oh, well, that guy wasn't actually cheating, so let's take our foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah. This is my issue with online tournaments because there's no regulation. It's really, really hard to regulate any of that stuff. And so cheaters end up in the online tournaments and you lose the qualifiers for it, which is terrible. I hate that.
And we just had a conflict too, like last week with the tournament that Simple's team was playing in, the team that they played against.
You mean that they won?
Yeah, that they won against. But that's what everybody's accusing them of cheating for so long, and it's like, okay, we don't know if they were cheating or not. You know, once all this comes into social media and they're getting exposed, kind of, maybe they were like, okay, we got to calm down. We're playing Simple's team. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of eyes watching us. We just got to lose this game. So I mean, you just never know with online events.
Yeah, it's true. It's terrible.
It is.
My clutcher kick time is gonna be CS is in the best spot right now. I was not having that much fun during Vitality's 7-month reign of terror. It is so much better to watch a tournament now and be like, I don't know who's going to win. Yeah. There's a few teams that have a really good shot, but until that event happens, until that map's played, you don't know who's going to win. It makes it so much better for me to watch. Some people like the domination. If you're a fan, probably, but from a viewership standpoint, give me the chaos. I like the chaos.
I'll go first.
Oh.
So here's the thing.
From Mr. Domination.
Here's the thing. First off, I understand that I'm contradicting myself from a little bit earlier in the show and saying that I like watching underdogs win. As somebody who was very dominant, luckily, for several years in Gears of War, I also like knowing that there's a dominant team. But I'm going to reference WWE. I love storylines. And I think when you have utter chaos in a tournament, there isn't a storyline other than WTF, right? Where if you have that GOAT team, if you have that one team that everybody has their eyes on and is aiming to beat and is trying to find the errors in their ways, and you see that team that can finally do it in that game 3, in that round whatever of overtime, that is the peak esports fan experience. So I am voting kick. I like when there's a top dog and there is a challenge for everyone else.
Dude, honestly,
damn, did he just sell? Oh,
dude,
no.
Yeah, he did sell it so good.
Because when Vitality was playing, I was always rooting against Vitality. I was like, I want to see those dudes fall, and it never happened. That's tough.
That's why I referenced WWE. Yeah. There's the good guys and the bad guys, and you watch just as much as you watch to watch your favorite wrestler, the good guy. You watch because you want to see the bad wrestler lose.
Yeah.
So,
but I will need to go back before you guys vote.
Yeah, your turn again.
No, there is a point early in the show where he literally said that quote. So we'll just have to put them next to each other in the edit later.
I like contradicting myself. It's okay.
I have decided.
Ooh.
Okay.
I am going to clutch it. I love it. Because it made the Mongols rise. Okay?
Yes.
Mongols are #1 in the world. Everyone should know it. Mongols are going to win the major. Okay, I'm telling you right here, it's going to happen. And it's because of the new era of Counter-Strike, because Vitality's fallen. Go ahead, Davis.
I was going to clutch this from the start. I was going to clutch it because one thing that I was thinking is like, I don't like the fact that like everybody is so against Vitality. It's like they don't even really care about their personal favorite team. They just want to see Vitality lose. And so I think it would be cool to have like a thing where you're a Falcons fan, so you pull against this team that they're playing, and you're a whatever fan, so you pull against this team. Not just, oh, we hate Vitality, someone beat them. But you did sell it to me. That is peak esports. That's peak esports. When you take down the giant has fallen. That's what you want to see. That brings the most viewers. That brings the best environment for everybody. So I'm going to kick it.
I'm okay with this.
We split the desk.
We did. Great style. Love it.
I try, man.
Okay, let's go back. Stage 2.
Okay.
Okay. We're talking, I want everyone to pick a team that is going to make it to playoffs out of stage 2 Swiss.
From stage 1.
From stage 1.
Yep.
So it has to
teams
be
that are currently playing.
Yeah, so you can't pick the Falcons. I know you want to. I want to as well. I'm with you, buddy. I get it. Would anybody like to go first?
I'll go. I pick G2 because,
G2. Oh, there you go.
like we've talked about, they won not long ago. And, I picked this and I submitted this pick before they won their match this morning. So now I'm just, a little bit extra rubbing the dirt off my shoulders a little bit because they are proving me right. Thank you, G2. But I think G2 has that ceiling to where they can compete with the top dogs and they can do their thing. So I'm expecting them to show up in stage 2, make it through stage 2, and be at peak G2 because we've seen them do it very recently.
I also picked G2 just because I don't know if anybody else picked G2, but I know I did as well. And honestly, for the same reasons. And we talked a little bit about Swiss. I don't know if it was before the show, but Swiss is a harder format. And sometimes you just get started a little bit slower. And I know we've kind of hated on G2 a little bit, but I do think that they do have the potential to be able to take down one of the big teams still.
Yeah.
It's just, I put on Heavy God, honestly. If Heavy God can do it, then they can make it.
For me, I did Gamer Legion. I think Gamer Legion's a team that they've been up and down recently, but they're a good team. They have the makeup to be really successful, and they're a team that they've been in Tier 1 events. They've been to a major grand final a few years ago. And so I think it's a team that if they can just find that fire, if they can find the spark, they can definitely make it through this stage.
3D Max.
No.
Bang, bang.
It's not going to happen. I will bet you $100 and we can pay it
Oh,
out.
Whoa, no,
That's not happening.
The 1 week Pat's not here, we're already trying to gamble. No, I was trying to. I picked first, and I was trying to leave some cookies on the table so that everybody can eat. And the obvious choice would have been G2 or Furia or somebody like that.
That's
but
true.
No, I went 3D Max. They outside of dropping one in stage number 1. I think they're because again we'll talk about it here in a second when we look at the rest of stage 2. But it's like I'm not saying they're going to go 3-0 in stage 2. I'm saying they're going to advance to playoffs.
So who is going to go 3-0 in stage 2?
Let's see who is participating one more time. I'm pretty sure it's all the big dogs.
It's the big dogs.
It's the big dogs.
So there's our, right now, we're missing 2, which is either going to be Astralis, Legacy, Furia, B8.
Well, I'm telling you, it's likely not going to be Astralis because it's now 6-6 at the half.
Okay.
I am going to go. I know this is on the spot.
2 O's and 2 O3s.
Wait,
We'll do the
3
2
O's.
Sorry, 3 O's. You're right. 3 O's.
Vitality, Spirit,
Ooh, okay.
and then I am going to go. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Gentlemates in HOTU.
Ooh, HOTU makes it
Yeah.
out and then gets smoked.
Yeah. It's just the unfortunate nature.
Checks out. Makes sense.
3-0, Davis.
Falcons, Vitality, 3-0.
Okay.
And
No Mongols? What are you
no
doing?
Mongols, I'm sorry. It gets hard in these Swiss stages. You're playing good teams.
Yeah.
You got 2-0 teams playing each other's stuff. I don't know. I'm picking Falcons because I like them as a team, and Vitality's just that they've been the dominant force, so I have to pick them. And then 0-3s, I'm not really sure. I'm thinking I like the Gentlemates. I think that they've kind of outperformed. I don't think they're as good. And I don't know. HOTU and Inner Circle, they've been so good that I kind of think they're going to win at least one match. I think I'm going to maybe go with FaZe. FaZe is an 0-3 team.
Ooh, wow.
I could see that.
You know what? Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see that. Like, with them, having a roster change right now,
Yep.
Yeah.
losing their IGL, I could see them going 0-3.
Yep. Do you want to go? You want me to go?
You go.
Okay, I'll go. I'm going to do my bottom ones because it lines up with Davis's right now. I am going to take FaZe to go 0-3. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. We've talked about how we don't like this switch.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just crazy to say, especially with them making a roster change, thinking they're fixing their roster, and we're just like, nope, you made the wrong decision.
And it's still FaZe, and we have teams like HOTU, Gentlemates, Inner Circle, saying that they're going to be the team that's 0-3. It doesn't sound right. But I think it could happen.
Sorry, your second 0-3 team.
Very good.
No, sorry.
My second 0-3 team is actually Gamer Legion. They have been a team they've had moments, but whenever they face the big dogs, they just get crushed. They never win those clutch moments, and I think there's too many big dogs around them to where they can't really escape. And then my 3-0s, Mongols, of course.
They're
the best. They're the best.
Unless they play Furia.
Nope. They're not going to lose to Furia.
Again.
And then I'm going to take Spirit. I think Spirit's going to come through on this one. I think Donk's going to be able to carry it. And that's actually going to be my grand finals. I think those two are going to end up playing each other in the grand finals.
Heck
as well.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
So you're saying the Vitality train is long.
I don't think
gone.
Vitality is going to be in this one. Nope.
We established that it was done already. No more Vitality,
that
please.
ship has sailed. No, but I am excited to see some of the new teams. The Faze roster. I thought Liquid was playing in this, but I
Same
They're
thing.
not.
It's basically they just traded some players.
Swiss Rain Elige. I don't
Hey, the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger will rise. You know he's going to win at least one matchup. He don't care.
He doesn't care. He is mean.
That's amazing. All right, so my turn, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I am going to go with my 0-3s first. I'm sorry to say, I think 3D Max is 0-3.
Wow. Okay.
I think 3D Max is 0-3.
That's fine. That's fine.
And the struggle I'm having here is I'm looking at the list of teams, and I could see any team beating any other team at any moment other than my top two, which we'll get to. I'm going to say my other 0-3 is going to be HOTU.
Okay.
I think that they had a great stage one, clearly. I think maybe they'll overhype themselves a little bit, maybe burned a little bit too much energy, and now they're going to go against the big dogs. And the big dogs bite a little bit harder than the small pups. So I'm sorry, HOTU. Fantastic run in stage one. You did great. We'll see you next time. For my 3-0s, I am going to agree with the Mongols. I like this team. They're exciting to watch.
See, this guy gets it.
I get
like
it. We're on the same page until whatever. But I like the Mongols. I think they're going to 3-0. I want to vote for Vitality. I want to vote for Spirit because I love Donk. But at the end of the day, I'm riding the G2 train.
Wow.
I think that G2 is going to learn from their lessons in stage one. I think Heavy God is going to go, you know what? It's time to show people that championship that we won was not a fluke, and they're going to do their thing and go 3-0 and cause some upsets.
So then last question, since we even threw that one in last minute, while we have a minute.
Yep. Literally 1 minute.
What is Falcons' Swiss record? I'll go first.
I already said mine.
You go last.
3-2. They'll be on that last day and they'll win on the last day.
Oh, 2-3.
They're not making playoffs.
Dude,
Wow.
and Davis, I know we have our Falcons on, brother. Like, I know, I get it. They have, I normally would pick them with you. Like, I would normally go Mongols, Falcons.
But Rain's not there yet?
Every single time I say, there you go. We need the Rain transfer. Okay, I've been saying this to you guys. They just disappoint, man. Like, there has to be something going on over there. They have to change something. And I want it. I want it in my heart. And I'm talking to you, the viewer, and I'm talking to Davis because I know there's this passion around the Falcons, but I just don't think they're going to get it done. So 2-3 for me. They go the distance, but they don't clutch up when they need to.
I'll lock that in. 2-3. Let's get it.
Wow.
And then 3-0.
3-0. I already said.
Oh, yeah.
I already said mine. 3-0. They're going to wipe the stage.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you think the Falcons are going to win this one or if it's going to be a Mongols event or maybe a sneaky G2 will show up and take it down. We'll be watching with you at home, and then we'll be back next week in another episode of Queued Up. Thanks so much for joining us, Ashes. You've been awesome on the desk today. It's been really fun to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And we'll hope to see you back soon, maybe.
I would love that.
Hey, there you go. Cool. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one, and bye-bye.